verse 18 through chapter 6, verse 13, a prayer of a successful failure. An old saying warns, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This isn't about that saying. Here's a new saying. If you plan to fail and fail, did you fail or succeed? More than just a funny conundrum. The answer may be a little too close to home, too personal and applicable. Add to that this. If you don't succeed how God wants you to succeed, did you fail or did God succeed? More than word games, this is serious spiritual business. How would you judge Moses' first missionary journey? His message is simple to Pharaoh. Let my people go. Notice, 1, Moses is not giving an ultimatum. Instead, he asks, let my people go so that they may hold a festival for me in the wilderness. Exodus 5, verse 1. Plus, Moses doesn't say, in the name of God, let my people go from slavery. Never does God demand Pharaoh to free the slaves, although he tells Israel that's his plan, chapter 6, verse 13. Before going before Pharaoh, Moses and Aaron prepare the Israelites. Hearing God say that he cares, very appropriately they bow down and kneel low to worship, Exodus 4:31. Afterwards, they blame Moses when the plan fails. Question is, does God's plan fail? Listen to their harsh, judgmental, unfair words. May the Lord take note of you and judge because you have made us reek to Pharaoh and his officials, putting a sword in their hand to kill us. Exodus 5:21. All too typical, blaming the wrong people and giving up too soon. At least they don't blame God yet, which is better than some. How easily people accuse God instead of the accuser, Satan. Who should they have blamed? Pharaoh. Before Moses preaches and fails, Pharaoh has the Egyptians supply straw for their slaves' brick making. Afterwards, not only is Israel not liberated, their labor is sorer. No more straw provided. They must go get their own, while unrealistically keeping up their quota. Chapter 5, verse 7 through 8 and verse 18. Unable to succeed, their taskmasters beat them. Chapter 5, verse 14 and 16. I wonder if Pharaoh planned their failure, meaning his plan succeeded. Their appeal to the high court, Pharaoh, falls on a hardened heart. Chapter 5, verses 15 through 18. Adding insult to injury, they are now wrongfully accused as slackers. Chapter 5, verse 17. On all fronts, Moses fails, blaming himself in prayer, chapter 5, verse 30, and chapter 6, verse 12. Even blaming God, chapter 5, verse 23. Except the plan is for Moses to fail. God already told everyone this. Listen, when you go back to Egypt, make sure you do before Pharaoh all the wonders I have put within your power. But I will harden his heart so that he won't let the people go. Chapter 4, verse 21. From the beginning, Yahweh tells everyone the plan would succeed by failing. Chapter 4, 29 through 30. Everyone should have been prepared for failure. But when the failure succeeded, all thought God's success failed. God's plan is for ultimate, long-term success, not immediate, temporary success. Sound familiar? Nothing is just about now, nor just about them. The hardening begins with Pharaoh asking or being asked, not for full freedom, but for something very reasonable. Freedom to worship in the wilderness. So was God's plan a failure or a success? Ironically, God planned to fail, which means God succeeded. Here's our prayer challenge. Are we quitters and blamers, deaf and blind to God's method and methods of preparedness, concerned only with how things affect us, looking only at now. What we view as failures could have been great successes if we had not failed and blamed God and quit God. Maybe some present failures are just waiting to be successes. Pray for God's wisdom and patience to work God's plans. After all these failures, God still succeeded. Start praying. This has been Praying Through the Bible, number 24, Exodus 4, verse 18 through chapter 6 and verse 13. If this has been a blessing, please share. And now you can find these on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.